Today I'm joined by Dennis Edmonds, Chief Executive of Kazera Global. Dennis, it's great to have you on. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to be back.
Definitely. So it's been very busy month for Kazera since we last spoke towards the end of October. The headline earlier in the month was the news that an objection lodged against the granting of the 2A mining right has been withdrawn, which clears the path for it to be granted to Kazera. Can you tell us a bit more about what happened there?
Yeah, without going into too much sort of political background, but the most important thing is that the objection, which was lodged, has been withdrawn. We work very closely with the local community, so for us, anything that we can do to support the local community, we will do.
Yeah.
And the objection was sort of part of that. We exceed our statutory obligations by a long way in terms of what we have to do. So it's just really good news that it's out the way now, and it opens up opportunities. The 2A is 34 times bigger than where we currently are. It is going to be an absolute game changer in terms of our operations. And having nothing standing in the way now, we would expect that license to be granted sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So is it now a case of just waiting for that final decision?
It is. It's not something we have any control over. It is the Department of Mines. They've obviously got to follow their processes, but they've largely done that already. So it really is now a question of it coming to the right person's attention and it being granted.
I was going to ask you if you have any idea when that might happen, but I'm guessing it might be a bit difficult to say at this point.
Yeah, it's a process. It needs to be dealt with by the Department of Mines. We have no control over that. But most of it, we know that they've done most of that work already. So really, we expect it to be granted much sooner rather than later.
Good stuff. So you followed the permit update with the news you'd raised 1.3 million to, among other things, secure the working capital you need to start progressing immediately once 2A is granted. What sort of work are we talking about there?
Well, the point about the fundraise, which has been really majorly supported by existing shareholders, is that it has enabled us to accelerate our processes. So what we're looking at doing is, in terms of the heavy mineral sands, we should be able to increase the amount of heavy mineral sand, pure heavy mineral sands. So basically, the separated out ilmenite, garnet, and zircon. We should be able to produce that in a pure form, roughly 4 times or more of what we're doing at the moment. So it's an enormous increase that this fundraise will give us. And what it'll also do is enable us to increase our diamond production by about 50% in terms of what we can actually put through our own sorting process. So it has big implications for future cash flow, and as a result is an incredibly positive step for the company, I believe.
Yes, so the funds aren't necessarily just for work at 2A, it's for all of the heavy mineral sands as well as the diamonds.
Yeah, I think 2A, to put it into context, what we really want to be is in a situation where we can say we're making really good money out of what we've got on 5 hectares. When you multiply that there by 34 times, then it becomes very easy. If we're making good money out of that 5 hectares, and so we're achieving the production levels and the purity levels that we are now aiming for, it's multiplying that by 34 suddenly gives 2A comes into a context which it doesn't have without that. So for us, it's very important to get to a stage where we are very satisfied that we have a full understanding of how we can maximize the value of what we've got. And we're very confident that's exactly where we stand now. So that's what this money will do. It'll enable us to maximize what we've got now, to generate very good profitability for us from a very small operation. And then when you multiply that there by however many times you decide to for 2A, it just changes the whole ballpark.
So it's a case of almost a proof of concept. So you get it right on that existing package, and then you can apply what you're doing there over a much bigger area.
Yeah, exactly. This year has been a fantastic year for Kazera. A year ago we weren't in production. Now we've gone to a stage where we're in production. We're producing both heavy mineral sands and diamonds, which is an enormous difference from a company talking about doing it.
Mm.
And we now know what we need to do to get to a stage where we are maximizing the profitability of both the diamond and heavy mineral sand operations. And we've now got the money to implement that. So it's just it's been a fantastic year in terms of development of the company and getting it to a stage where we are honing it rather than going into something which we've not even started at this time last year, which is production, proper production, or certainly on heavy mineral sands.
Absolutely. So with so much going on, can we expect to see good amount of news flow as we go into the end of the year and also into early 2026?
Yeah, a lot of the news flow to start with will be the acquisition of machinery and equipment. Obviously, a big part of it also is that we are intending to open up the offer that the option to our existing shareholders of participating on the same terms as the other investors have in this recent fundraise, because we don't want people to be diluted if they don't want to be diluted. So it's only fair to open it up to our existing shareholders if we can, and we can. So we're going to be doing that next week. And then, going forward, there's lots of good news to come. We believe we're making some interesting progress with our operation in Namibia. So we have a couple of people we're talking to there. And of course, there is, the 2A is to be announced somewhere or other, and the acquisition of equipment and machinery and the installation of equipment and machinery and getting the whole thing up and running. So there's lots to come. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, Dennis, for your time today, and I look forward to speaking again soon.
Great. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.